Okay, so are you ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to dive in.
All right, good. Today we're going to be talking about national birds,
Oh, cool.
and specifically the national birds of the West Indies,
Okay. Yeah.
the Caribbean countries.
The Caribbean.
Yeah, and we're working from a YouTube video transcript called National Birds of West Indies Caribbean Countries.
Okay.
And it's by a channel called About World.
About world.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
got to say, I was going through the transcript just before we started recording,
Yeah.
and
Clever.
it starts with, "Foreign, it's you."
Foreign, it's you?
Yeah, I don't really know what that means.
That is strange.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just have to see what that's all about.
Yeah, maybe there's some context missing or something, but
So, who knows?
but yeah, national birds, that's a good topic.
Yeah, so you know how, like, the United States has the bald eagle,
Oh, yeah, of course.
and that's supposed to, represent freedom and strength and all that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the different Caribbean countries have their own birds that represent, their identities, their culture.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
Like, for example, the brown pelican is the national bird of St. Martin.
Oh, yeah, the brown pelican. I like that one.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good choice because, they're so resilient.
Yeah.
And they can really adapt to, living on these small islands and dealing with hurricanes and, all the challenges that come with that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, the pelican itself represents kind of the spirit of St. Martin.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm curious, like, how do they even decide on these national birds?
Well, it's actually pretty interesting. It varies depending on the country.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they have public polls or competitions to let the people decide.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So it's a very democratic process.
Right, exactly. And then sometimes they'll have committees of experts, who will consider a bird's like ecological significance
Hmm.
or its historical significance, or cultural significance.
Yeah, so it's not just about, which bird looks the prettiest.
No, definitely not.
It's about, like, what the bird represents to the people.
Exactly. It's about finding a bird that really embodies the nation.
And that's what I like about this topic, because it's not just about birds.
Yeah.
It's also about what they represent to the different countries.
Exactly. It gives you a window into their values and their relationship with nature and their history.
Okay, so let's get into some more examples. What are some of the other national birds from the Caribbean?
All right, well, how about the magnificent frigate bird?
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It's the national bird of Antigua and Barbuda,
Antigua and Barbuda. Okay.
and it's known for its huge wingspan, and, it can really soar high up in the sky.
Yeah.
So it symbolizes freedom and ambition.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and they're really skilled hunters, too.
Oh, wow.
They do all sorts of aerial acrobatics to catch fish.
So it's not just about how they look, it's about what they do.
Right, exactly.
And I bet there are all sorts of interesting stories about these birds in, like, the history of the islands and stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like folklore.
For example, the red-billed streamer-tail is the national bird of Jamaica.
Okay, the red-billed streamer-tail.
Yeah, and they call it the doctor bird locally.
Doctor bird. Why do they call it that?
Because it has these long tail feathers
Mm-hmm.
that kind of look like a doctor's coattails.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and it's a really important part of Jamaican folklore.
Oh, wow.
It's even considered a symbol of good luck.
So cool. I mean, this is what I love about these deep dives.
Yeah.
We're learning about birds, but we're also learning about, you know, cultures and history and all these different things.
It all connects, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it just adds like a whole other layer of understanding to it,
Absolutely.
And I bet there are even more stories about all the other national birds too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Each bird has its own unique story to tell.
And it's like they each represent something different about their country.
Right. Like, even though a bird might seem like a simple thing, it can have a lot of meaning.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's really fascinating.
So for all of you listeners out there, next time you see a bird, just take a minute to think about what it might represent.
Yeah, good idea.
Like maybe it represents freedom or resilience or intelligence or something else entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And what about the national bird of your own country?
Yeah, what does that say about your country?
What does it say about your country's identity and values? I think that's a really interesting thing to think about.
It is.
And maybe it will even inspire you to learn more about all the different birds that share our world.
There you go.
All right. Well, that's our deep dive for today.
Thanks for diving in with me.
Thanks for joining me.